Hey man, out of all 15 of my years being a sneaker collector, 2025 got to be the best. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows the best, and in today's video, we got another package. You already see the title, you see the thumbnail, so you already know what's inside this box. And this is a pair that I'm pretty excited about. Although I will say, just a smidge of my excitement did die down while I was waiting for these, because I actually hit on the original release, my first ever EQLW. I was extremely excited about it, and my pair just got here today. So, but hey, better late than never. And speaking of never, this is a pair that I thought that I would personally like never ever own. I mean, your boy got them undefeated things, man, and I can't wait to crack these open. Although I will say I'm a little, just a smidge nervous, just because I've been hearing and seeing that a lot of people have been having some quality control issues with some of their pairs. Some shoes looking like they were kind of like dented in on the suede, having some glue marks, some scuffs, whatever. I'm not going to be too picky or particular about my pair. I'm just excited to really own the shoe, but I completely get it. We can go ahead and crack open this box while we yapping, I guess. I completely understand, man. When I got into collecting sneakers, which has been a long time ago now, I still feel like I'm some young dude in the game, like I'm still relatively new, but it has really been like 15 years. And when I got into collecting sneakers, retro Jordans was about, typically on average, about like $160 retail. Like we go back to, let's say, yeah, like 2010, 2011, like Jordan 3 is like the one that they brought back the true blues, the white cements, the black cements. Those were all like 160 plus tax, right? And then if a sneaker were to sell out around those times and go on the resale market, like if it was something that was actually sought after, it would typically end up selling for 200 to maybe 220, 250. That was like what was standard at that time in my experience. And now we paying the old resale price as the new retail price, which is pretty insane. You know what I'm saying? I paid, it was like 250 plus tax and shipping. It was like 270 something after tax for these, man, which is absolutely ridiculous. But all things considered, I mean, I don't really know what these are selling for now. The price has probably like gone down a lot since so many people were able to get their hands on it, but that don't matter to me, because the colorway matters way more than the hype ever could to your boy. But this used to be a sneaker that would sell for 4 or 5 figures. So to pay a little under 300, I'm gonna take that every day of the week, man. But inside, it looks like we're presented with a little packing slip. So let me just go ahead and slip that out of there and just, and yeah, man, you see it. You already know what this box is. Maybe some of you don't. Like I said, if you're into sneakers at all, I'm sure you've seen every other sneaker collector and YouTuber on this platform talk about these, do their review, their unboxing already. Like I said, they took their sweet time getting me my pair. So it took a while. Like I said, I'm the last one, but let's go ahead and see if we can get this out of here. It's actually a pretty snug fit. Can I go ahead and dig these out the box? There we go. And then just go ahead and this is crazy. I've never actually owned one of these boxes. This is obviously kind of like a remix on like the old school silver box. I think I have the red Flint Jordan 13s, which are sitting somewhere dead stock in my closet at the bottom of a stack. I think they came in a box like this, because I think when I do the 13s, they do like these old school silver boxes from like 05 type era of Jordan retros, I want to say. But in this box, you see we got the 05 2025 Jordan brand undefeated collab Air Jordan 4 Retro OG SP, deep green, clementine, and black. And let's see if I can go ahead and get that to focus on the label. I'll give you a little close up there, see for yourselves. And yeah, like I said, this is a sneaker that I never ever thought that I would own, and this is why I say 2025 got to be like the best year of being a sneaker collector, because not only are we getting access to grails like this that the average person would have never even seen, let alone owned for the most part, but even like classics that I love, grew up with, always feel like I need in my rotation, in my collection, like black cement 3s, white cement 4s, metallic 5s, great 5. Like, they're easy to get. Like, really, okay, the metallics maybe not so much for most people. I was able to easily secure 2 pairs. I know that wasn't the case for everybody, but regardless, yeah, let's do this, man. So upon flipping open the box, you're presented with what looks to be like an undefeated postcard. Like I said, you've probably seen every other YouTuber talk about these already, but go ahead and give you a little close-up of that. Nothing written on it, but a nice little souvenir, I suppose. It kind of gives me vibes and reminds me of like when some of these retro used to come with retro cards back in the day. And then the tissue paper inside has the Jumpman logo and Undefeated branding on it. And I think these are going to be individually wrapped, which I don't really know why Jordan Brand started doing the individual wrap thing. It kind of seemed like a waste of paper to me, but I guess it does make for a somewhat nice presentation. But there we go, man. And I can already smell that new shoe smell. I can already smell it. I can already smell it. Okay, let's go ahead and see what I feel like a kid on Christmas, boy. Don't, man, because a fella like me ain't supposed to have these. A fella like me is not even supposed to have these. Oh my goodness. Hey, and at least when it comes to this left shoe, no flaws to be found. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a nice little look over, but there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Undefeated Jordan 4. You see we got the green on in the background today. But yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of like bright green and neon green, but when you start getting into like that olive green, that dark green, that military green, beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And this sneaker to me, it's not like one of my all-time favorites, like a holy grail. The thing is, right, when it comes to certain shoes, right, everybody has like their list of grails and like their holy grail. And I can't say that these were a grail of mine because this isn't a sneaker that I like. It wasn't even realistic. This isn't a shoe that I ever thought that I would own. For those of you who don't know, right, I imagine a lot of you guys do. Like I said, everyone's told the story a million times. If you collect sneakers at all, you know about these, right? But some of y'all do just watch me because you enjoy my content. You're not really into sneakers like that. You just like hearing me yap. This is an original collaboration. This was the first Jordan collaboration back in 2005 that Jordan Brand did. And it was like 72 pairs that were released in the entire world. And there's like a bunch of samples and stuff out there floating around these days as well, but 72 pairs, okay, in the entire world. For reference point, when something like the cool gray Jordan 11s, like the Jordan 11s drop around like December every year, they make like over 1 million pairs of those, okay? And those are still hard to get. I didn't actually get a pair of the cool gray 11s in 2021 when they re-released. They sold out too quickly for me to get a pair. Just for reference point, you know what I'm saying? So I'm at 72 pairs, like, and so this is a sneaker that has sold for 5 figures, like thousands and thousands of dollars. So I can't, like, I never in my wildest dreams thought that this would be a pair that I could own, because when I got into collecting sneakers, something like this coming back, that was not a thing. And you know what's crazy? When they started retroing Dornbeckers, I should have known that like all bets were off and like nothing was sacred. When they retroed like the Jordan 3 Dornbeckers and the Jordan 6s, I should have been like, oh, they'll bring back anything and everything. And you know what? This is mad random. Like I'm yapping, I'm all over the place. But bring back the Year of the Rabbit 7s. I know a lot of people ain't big 7s like fans. I am. You can probably, well, I guess you can't tell because they all blurred out. But I got several pairs of 7s back there for the love of the games, Bordeaux's, Hares, and I the other pairs as well. But yeah, nah, this is crazy. And like I'm giving my pair a look over. The left shoe looking flawless. Like I have no complaints on my pair whatsoever, man. And yeah, my first ever dub on the EQL raffle as well. And it's the Undefeated 4s. Now I don't know what these are even selling for on the resale market right now, but I could not care less. I could not care less. Let me go ahead and get the other shoe out of the box and give that one a little look over and see if it's as flawless as this one is right here. Because if it is, your boy is definitely one of the lucky ones. So like I said, man, I love this color. And some people, I've seen some people say like, oh, you can't wear those that often, or you know, it's a color that you're not gonna wear that much. To keep it a stack, like with as many pairs of sneakers as I own, yeah, most of my shoes don't get wearing that much because you just constantly swapping stuff out and trying to keep other things in rotation and everything like that. But the color is not going to be the reason why these don't hit the foot game like on a regular basis. Because to me, this is extremely versatile. Like I feel like I could rock these with a lot of things personally, especially because like I wear like a lot of earth tones and darker colors and stuff like that. So these fit with my wardrobe very, very well. I don't know about y'all. I remember I was having this conversation because we were talking about the brick by bricks. I think in the Rare Air 4 video, I mentioned how, you know, the shoe cool, whatever. I think it's overrated. It's not like the best release of the year to me. It's a lot of releases I'm taking over it. Blah, blah, blah. Is this my sneaker of the year? I don't know, but it's definitely in contention. Whereas for me personally, just my opinion, if you like the brick by bricks, power to you. I'm taking these over those like very easily. I'm taking these over the bricks very, very easily. But yeah, to me, those are a lot more difficult to wear. Just a super bright red shoe, I think that's way more difficult to wear than something like this is. And these are also wrapped kind of weirdly now that I'm really paying attention to this paper. But there we go, right shoe out of the paper, and just toss that off to the side. And again, not seeing any scratches, no scuffs, no glue marks, no creases. What about the inside? Because around here in this area is where we've seen like a lot of people have like their suede is like wrinkled up or like dented in. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. I don't see, yo, camera, focus on the shoe, not my eyes. I don't see nothing at all. It's pretty flawless. No flaws at all. I'm actually in awe of this one right here, man. Because again, like, you gotta understand, this is just one of the ones, because like when it comes to like I said, a Grape 5, a Carmine 6, an Olympics, like I'm just talking about some of my favorite shoes that have released in like recent years that I own and stuff, you know what I'm saying? A Black Cement 3, like I've had Black Cement 3s 17 million times, and even though that's one of my all-time favorites and a classic that I always keep in the collection, like it's always been obtainable, you know what I'm saying? Like those colorways, they're like, even when they weren't like, no, those have always been GRs, huh? What are like some non-GR? It don't even matter. It don't like this is, like I said, this was a unicorn, you know what I'm saying? This was a myth, a legend. Like you almost didn't know if this shoe even really existed for real, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen this sneaker maybe once or twice ever in my life in person, like at a sneaker con in New York, and that's probably it. But yeah, I'm just looking over, just trying to see if there's any issues whatsoever, and just not seeing any, man. So I'm definitely one of the lucky ones, because it might, hey, like I said, better late than never. Not always here when you call, but I'm always on time. I can't believe I own this shoe. This is so crazy to me. I guess we can go ahead and get into a little review for them. I guess we'll start with the outsole, right? So as you can see here at the outsole, you have mostly an all black rubber with hits of that clementine orange here on the traction pod and on the Nike at the middle of the foot. Then moving on up, you can see the rubber outsole goes up through the midsole of the shoe, more black, a little bit of a glossy black here on the midsole paint. And then here at the back, you have like a sail or an off-white. And this has always been like this, which is funny now because I like sail. I like off-white cream. I think it's a really nice color. I think it's very versatile. I think it's easy to wear. I think it looks good on a lot of sneakers. A lot of sneakerheads don't really rock it, or don't really rock with it these days. They're kind of like, I guess they just feel like it's played out, it's overdone. They just prefer like bright white. And I get it. When you get a sneaker like, let's say the White Cement 3s, like a lot of people, you want a crispy, bright white pair. You know what I'm saying? You don't want like a pair that looks like it's old. So I get that. But for me personally, on a shoe like this, or let's just say like on a turbo green, or I don't know, like a Travis Scott, I think the age look kind of looks pretty good. Like I like it. So, but yeah. So you got that sail, and this might have been, to be honest, one of, if not the first pairs to ever have like that off-white instead of like a bright white on it. And if you take a close look, you can see also in the air unit there, you have an orange air unit inside the shoe. And then all throughout the entire upper, you have this this green suede that feels very nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty short, but it does have like a little bit of a color shift, you know, when you swipe it back and forth. I know a lot of people are really big fans of that. And like I said, it's pretty short, so it's not as noticeable, but it does got a little bit of got a little bit of motion to it, just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then you just got hits of black all throughout the sneaker. So like I said, mostly green suede upper, black on the wings here, and the wings do have like this glossy finish. Again, if I could get the camera to focus. And then you got the matte black in contrast to it there on the wings. Is this rubber on here? Is this actually black or olive green? I can't even really tell for sure. On the netting, it's actually kind of difficult for me to tell. Is this black or olive green? I want to say it's green. It's definitely green. But it's interesting because it's almost the exact same shade of green as the mesh underneath. And it's like darker than the rest of the shoe, but it looks good. It looks good. It gives it a little bit of like contrast, like I said. And you know, something that I never actually realized about the sneaker until this release came out, and I started seeing people get them in hand or on feet and doing reviews and everything like that, is that the tongue is like a completely different material. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but the tongue, yeah, you can see that shine to it. It's kind of like a bomber jacket, and I've got like a Rothko bomber jacket upstairs that I guess I could break down, but that's clearly the inspiration behind this colorway, right? And yeah, I'm gonna be that guy that's probably gonna rock a fit or two with that jacket on. I know everybody and their mama gonna have something like that, but how can you not? It's just like a perfect combo. I ain't even mad at it. I can't even blame nobody for doing that. But yeah, as you can see, you have more of that green on the tongue, but in a different material altogether. It's kind of like a satin-y kind of, what would you call this exactly? What would you call the material on a bomber jacket? I actually don't know, but it has like a satin look to it. And it is kind of stiff. So I wonder if this would be more uncomfortable than a regular Jordan 4. And for a lot of people, Jordan 4s are already uncomfortable anyway, right? Especially around here in the pinky toe area. But you know, it is what it is. Black flight patch on the tongue with that orange Clementine Jumpman. And this patch, much like the Rare Air Jordan 4s, is removable. And this might have been the first ever pair to do that, if I'm not mistaken, to have that removable patch, right? Yeah, because it was these, and then that's 2005, and then in 2006 is when you get the Lightning 4s, the Thunder 4s, and then the Rare Air Jordan 4s, right? Or well, not the black Rare Airs that we got, but the Tour Yellow, the white pair with the yellow midsole with the speckles on it, which I think are pretty dope. And honestly, go ahead and bring those back as well. You brought back the Lightnings, you brought back the Thunders, you brought back a Rare Air Jordan 4 and the Rare Air Jordan 4. so go ahead and bring back that Rare Air Jordan 4. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of Rare Air, if we do remove the patch here, which the Velcro on these is exactly the same as like on the black Rare Airs, and it's way stronger than I would have expected prior to getting those in hand. But as you can see, the patch itself is removable, so you can rock it off to the side, take it off completely, throw it upside down, whatever you want to do with it. And then you'll see that Jordan Rare Air is written there on the tongue behind the patch. But yeah, this is nuts. I know I normally do like a lot of yapping about the lore of the sneaker and the releases, and my mind is honestly all over the place when it comes to these. Like, I really don't even know where to start, because like I said, this is a unicorn, man. This is one of those sneakers that, like, when I got into sneakers, I was like, oh, there's no way I'll ever, like, I never even considered, thought about, fantasized, dreamed about owning a shoe like this, because it, like I said, like, I wasn't even sure this shoe existed for, like, obviously it does. Like, you've seen people on the internet who have them, but even when I go to like conventions and stuff, this is one of those pairs that like you just almost never ever see. And I've seen Paris Dunks, Freddy Krueger SBs, you know, every Yeezy in the book. I used to own a pair of like patchwork Louis Vuitton Dons, Air Mags, like all that stuff, man. But this is one of them ones. This is one of them ones. Ow. Anyway, my fault. I kind of get infatuated with the sneaker. But then here at the back of the shoe, you can see on the back tab, we actually have Nike Air, which is a detail that separates it from the original release of the sneaker, because it used to be a Jumpman. And it's kind of strange to me that they actually changed it from a Jumpman to a Nike Air. I guess that does make the older pairs distinguish and still stand out. Maybe helps them retain some of their value because they are different. But honestly, to me personally, I think the Nike Air actually looks better. So to me, this is actually an upgrade over the original pair, which is rare that you get an upgrade. But I guess when we talk about that Rare Air, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know how you guys feel about them adding Nike Air to the back of non-OG colorways. I guess on this pair in particular, it doesn't feel too weird to me personally, because Nike Air showing up on collabs has been a thing for years now. But like, let's say the Rare Airs or the Cave Stones, you know what I'm saying? Like these random pairs that they're kind of throwing it on. Like I said, I like it. I never really knew what it is about the Nike Air that kind of looked better to me than the Jumpman logo. And don't get me wrong, like I had the 2012 white cement. I think the Bread 4s released that year on Black Friday as well. I had those, and those had the Jumpman on the back. All the Jordan 3s that released back during those years as well. Like I've had plenty of pairs of like, you know, retro 3s and 4s that had a Jumpman on the back, 6s as well, 5s. But I think all it really is that the Nike Air just fills up the space better. So it just aesthetically just looks better to me. I think that's all it really is, because like the Jumpman logo is not like, it's not like I don't like the Jumpman logo. I think the Jumpman logo looks perfectly fine, but the Nike Air, I think on the back of these shoes, it just fills up the frame more. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's the only reason why I like it more. But that's just me, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how y'all feel when it comes to the Nike Air versus the Jumpman logo, which one you prefer, or how you guys feel about them throwing it on all these different sneakers. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it because I think it looks better. It is. I will say I do understand. I do feel those who like, oh, they should have just kept it for the OG colorways and collaborations, because like collaborations is something special. OG colorways, it's like that's how they originally came, so we're just kind of like trying to present them back then, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. If it was only on OG colorways, that would make sense to me. and I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't be mad at it. But like I said, I'm not mad that it's on stuff like this or a rare air or a cave stone, because it looks dope. You know what I'm saying? It looks dope to me. Yeah, this is crazy to me. Also, didn't pull out the little hang tag here, so you can see here on the hang tag. I'm sorry, this is not like my most organized or like thought out review or unboxing, just because this means something to your boy. This definitely means something to your boy. But you can see the hang tag here on the shoe. Get a black plastic hang tag with the translucent or transparent Undefeated logo and that Clementine Jumpman there on it. Now, I will not be leaving this hang tag on the shoe when I rock my pair, but I know some people do like to do things like that. Also, I forgot to mention that here behind the tongue, obviously you can see you got more of that Clementine orange, as well as the Air Jordan patch. Actually, on these, it actually says Undefeated. Does it say that on both, or does it say it on one? Yeah, it actually says Undefeated as opposed to Air Jordan behind the tongue, like it normally does. And then on the inside as well, you've got that orange insole with the black Nike Air. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that to show up on camera very well. Yeah, you can see it. Obviously, it's a little dark, but you see it well enough in there. And then I believe these also come with some extra laces. Yes, they do. If I could go ahead and fish that out of there. You do get the little cardboard pouch that they've been throwing these releases lately with some orange laces. And I'm normally not a big lace swap guy. You know what I'm saying? I normally keep it standard. Usually, for the most part, whatever laces a shoe comes with, that's typically what I end up wearing. Like whatever laces in the shoe is usually the ones I leave. And there are some cases where I do swap them out. Like I remember in my old pairs of Chicago's, like the not the 2015 retro, but I think it was 2013 when they dropped before they did the retro high OG release with the Nike Air on the tongue. I threw white laces in those, done white laces in the black toes before. So like I've done some lace swaps, but it's usually not like any like crazy colors. It's usually just like white, black, cream, something like that. And I'm probably gonna stick with the black on these, but I'm not gonna lie. I've seen my fair share of like on foot picks with the orange laces, and the orange really pops. And I think orange is one of those colors that's like, it's a good compliment, but it's typically not like a color I want to be the base of the shoe. Now there are some exceptions, as long as it's not overpowering, like the shattered backboards, which, by the way, I know people are wondering, I did not pick up the shattered backboards. Let me preface what I'm about to say by saying this. I like the colorway. I think it's a dope shoe. I probably will pick up a pair at some point, but to me, the shattered backboards were always one of the most overrated colorways of the Jordan 1. And I say that as a Jordan 1 lover and collector who has 30, 40 pairs of Jordan 1s. It's never a shoe that I felt that inclined to own, especially for the price that it sold for. And I was pretty confident that they would not sell out because they were going to be readily available and people weren't going to want them as bad as they did before, because, oh, the quality's not the same and everybody can have them now. Because I don't care about stuff like that. Like, I knew that they would sit, and I knew that means that I'd be able to find them cheaper down the line. So in a month from now, a few months from now, whatever, when I can get them for 150, 140, or maybe even like a secondhand pair that's been worn a couple of times for $100, that's when I'll pick a pair up, because to me, that's what I'm willing to spend on that shoe. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, to each their own. I like the shattered backboards. I don't love the shattered backboards, like I said, because to me, like I don't love orange as a color that much, but I think it's a good like accent, like it's done on these. Like I love olive green, and you throw in a little orange accent, I think that looks sick. So you know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel personally. And to me, the colorway is always the most important thing. What was I saying before I went on that little tangent about the shattered backboards? I don't even remember, man. I don't even remember. Yeah, the orange laces in these actually kind of pops. It just gives it like a nice little, just a little pizzazz that I kind of rock with. I'm probably not gonna do it, but don't be shocked if you see me pop out somewhere with the orange laces in there, because I just might. And you know what I'm realizing? Orange is such a bright color as well. Maybe that's the thing, that orange is just like so bright and so loud. Like unless you're going with like a rust orange, right? Like a burnt orange, like a burnt sienna or something like that. That I think it usually looks the best when it's complemented by like something really, really dark. So for example, right? I know this is we way off topic now, but I'm not a big fan of like the New York Knicks or like the OKC Thunder like colors and like uniforms and stuff, right? That super bright blue and bright orange, I don't really like it. But I think like the Chicago Bears, the football team, for example, I think it looks really good because like that dark navy blue complemented by like the orange accents, I think that looks pretty good. And then even when they have like their orange jerseys and then it has like the navy blue and the white, that honestly doesn't look too bad either. I think orange probably just looks best when it's complemented by something dark instead of bright. Is that consistent? Is that consistent with how I feel? I'm trying to look around. Do I have anything else that's... I might have a sneaker somewhere that's got some orange in it, but I can't even think right now. But this is probably when it looks its best, when it's like a complement to like a much darker color, at least in my opinion. I'm just in awe. I just can't believe that I actually own this shoe. And like, yeah, they're now at a point where like almost anybody can have them. And if you're willing to spend the money, you could probably still get these for, you know, a few $100s, but these are still something special to me. But yeah, 2025 has been crazy, man. Just getting access to like so many like dope shoes. Like we're getting the Tokyos next month as well. The Tokyo Jordan 5s. That's another one that like, that one was more like obtainable though, because like back when that shoe was a thing and it came out, like that sneaker would sell for like around $1,000, I want to say, which was a ton of money. But like I've owned shoes that have cost, like I've spent that amount of money on sneakers before. That's not a shoe that I was ever going to spend that kind of price on. And it might still be that because the release, I'm not really fully understanding what's going on. They had like a Japan only release, I think, that just happened. And now we're supposed to be getting a sneakers release in September, and it's probably going to be pretty limited. Like I don't really know how it goes. I'm going to try to get those because I've always liked those. It reminds me a lot of obviously Lightning 4s, which like I said, I always like more than the Thunders. That's just me. And yeah, having both of those would be, yes, bro, Thunder 4s, Undefeated 4s, Tokyo 5s. Like I can't believe, not the Lightning 4s were this year, but this year alone has been ridiculous, man. Like getting so many like classics and like being able to get access to them so easily. Granted, they are more expensive than ever before, but like it's been a crazy year. This has been my best year of pickups ever, I want to say. Definitely the best year for like retro releases, and a lot of them they sit, which I couldn't be happier about. Just being able to just walk into a store or just wake up one day and just be like, yeah, I guess I'll grab a pair. You know what I'm saying? Like it's great. It's great, man. 2025 has been so good for real sneaker lovers and enthusiasts and collectors, man. If you actually like buying and rocking kicks and not just looking to make a quick buck, which I don't even really have that much of an issue with resellers. Like when I was in high school, I was reselling stuff too, but it was really just to make money in order to afford the other stuff that I wanted to buy and rock. But I ain't even mad at the resellers like that. Like does it suck? Yeah, but it just is what it is. Like anywhere where there's profit to be made, where there's a high, low supply and high demand, it's going to exist. Pokemon cards, sneakers, graphics cards for your computers, like just designer items and streetwear and stuff. Like it just is what it is. Like I just chalk it up to the game, and it's whatever. But if you're somebody who's not out there just to like, you know, to make money off these shoes, this has been one of the best years ever, because getting stuff like this, getting stuff like a Grape 5 or a Black Cement 3. Well, I guess the Black Cement 3s, that was actually like late last year, right? I keep thinking in my head that was like a release earlier this year, but those was actually the end of last year, right? Like in November. Was that the Black Friday release last year? It might have been. Those released on Black Friday back in 2011 as well, if I remember correct. Yeah, it definitely was. I camped out for that release. I remember. I was in the mall, camping out outside of Foot Locker for the Black Cements back in 2011. But yeah, it's just been so crazy. And the year's not over, man. Like I said, we still got the Tokyo 5s coming. What else is Fire Red 5s with the black tongue? To me, that's one of the best ones. That's the metallic 5s and the Grape 5s. Those are probably my top 3 Jordan 5 colorways. I'd probably even say that I like those more than the Tokyos, but the Tokyos is obviously, you know, it's the exclusivity of everything that like hype those up even more. But I do genuinely like the colorway, so I will be trying to get those as well. What else is dropping this year? It's a few more months left. Black Cat 4s, but I may or may not. I'm not really a big fan of like all black, but it do look decent on those. But I never really cared about that shoe like that. Maybe I'll get them, maybe I won't. I'll probably end up passing on them, to be honest. Never understood why that shoe jumped up so much in value, by the way, because when those dropped a few years ago, nobody cared. Like I think Black Cat 4s even hit the outlets. I don't know who rocked those, and like was like Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner, or something, some celebrity put those on and they jumped up. It had to be something like that, right? I don't know. Anyway, I'm yapping, I'm rambling. Undefeated Jordan 4s. I can't believe that I own this sneaker. This is so crazy to me, man. And yeah, how y'all thinking, or what y'all thinking? How y'all feeling? Did you pick a pair up? Did you get lucky? Are you looking at that resale market? Did you pass? You copping? You dropping? Let me know, man. I got my pair. These are one. I don't know when I'll be putting these on foot, but these are definitely getting rocked. And yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content up and I'll bring you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing could happen to you swinging the bat. Later.